On Christmas Day, in most Goan homes, wafts in the aroma of sausage pulao, pork vindaloo, and of course, beef shakuti. If this isn't enough to get your mouth watering, then let's top it off with the oh so soft and sweet bibik, dosh, and dodol. But before you bite into another melt in your mouth rissoy de camaro, let's take a look at how they became iconic Goan staples. In 1498, when Vasco da Gama stepped into Calicut, he had no idea what he was letting loose. With the introduction of products like chili peppers, Goa was led to the distinct flavor profiles we see in Indian food today. Goan cuisine is distinct in its selection of dishes, morphing Portuguese influences into its own spin. For example, while the Portuguese used wine to create carne de vida de arroz, its Goan cousin used just palm vinegar and thus the shortened name Vindaloo. Besides this, the Portuguese also introduced potatoes, leading to beef stew-like dishes, tomatoes, which is the basis of dishes like pulao and vindaloo, cashews, which is ground and used in kafriel. Since Goan Catholic cuisine is a fusion of Hindu and Portuguese cooking styles, vinegar is used to give the tanginess to most meat dishes. Popular Goan dishes include ambot steak, which is a spicy and sour fish curry prepared with fish. Arroz dosh, a coconut and rice with chana dal type of sweet. Balchao, a really spicy and sweet prawn pickle. Bibinka, a multi-layered baked pudding that is usually had at Christmas. Kafrial, a coriander-based masala which is used in meats like chicken and beef. Kald, which is a type of a milky chicken broth which is served with crotons or cheeselings, usually during winter. We have Goan samosa. We have choris, which is spicy pork sausages. We have croquets, which are fried mince beef rolls. Then we have patolio or patoli, which is like turmeric leaves which have stuffed in them dal, jaggery, and coconut. We have roast beef and beef tongue. We have roast omelette, which is served with a Portuguese style of bread called the pão. We have sanna, a dry rice cake, which is either sweet or savory, and it usually goes with sorpatel, which is a spicy pork dish eaten with sannas or pão. Then we have the vindaloo, which is a spicy pork curry or any meat. Then we have the shakuti, which is roasted grated coconut curry with meat. One of the lasting Portuguese influences on Goan cuisine, the dietary habits of the Goans changed when they converted to Christianity. Beef and pork became a part of their cherished diet, especially of the upper and middle classes. The Portuguese not only introduced some of their food habits, but also brought along Chinese food habits from Macau and Malacca. Several Portuguese dishes became a part of Goan Christian cuisine, which is a blend of Eastern and Western cuisine. Some of the Portuguese dishes in Goan cuisine were modified to suit the needs of the Goans, tastes, and availability of the ingredients. But how did the colonizers go about spreading their culture? Well, the Portuguese used various methods to spread their culture. Soon after the conquest of Goa, Albuquerque introduced a policy known as Politica dos Casamentos. This was marriage alliances between his countrymen and native women. This policy helped to spread the Portuguese culture among a section of the Goan population. Native women who married Portuguese men learned to speak Portuguese and embraced the Christian religion, and many of their customs and traditions were given incentives. Culture was also spread through a series of legislations enacted by the state. the Portuguese government issued decrees banning people from following their cult customs and other practices. For example, in the 16th century, the Hindus were forbidden to move on horses or palanquins. They were also forbidden to have their weddings celebrated in public, especially in the presence of Christians. Force as well as incentives were used to introduce the new culture of the rulers. Another example is in the 17th century, the state issued an order to all native Christians not to observe Hindu customs regarding festivities to be performed after the birth of a child. Those who refused were humiliated, harassed, and punished. The punishment prescribed often were the sorry, confiscation of their property. At other times, they were forced to leave their ancestral home and go in exile elsewhere. Throughout their rule in India, the Portuguese issued decrees banning some practices and introducing new ones. In the fourth decade of the 20th century, the state ordered that Goans should appear wearing pants in all towns of Goa, in the headquarters of New Conquest and ferry wharfs of Pethem, Durbat and Rachol and Sarvodem, Dona Paula and Pilingakau. However, non-Christians were allowed to wear coat along with pudwem instead of pants. This was a symbol of amalgamation of two cultures. Bans were imposed to alienate the natives from their culture and bring about a change. The natives often resisted these changes. Despite restrictions and all kinds of punitive measures, the Goans were able to maintain many aspects of their culture. Bans were not the only means used by the rulers to bring about changes. At times, incentives were provided for the people to embrace the new religions and customs of the rulers. In early centuries of Portuguese rule in Goa, widows and orphans who converted to Christianity were entitled to their husbands' and fathers' property. The colonial policy succeeded to a certain extent. The impact of the Portuguese culture had a mixed impact on Goans. To conclude, indeed, the Portuguese influence on Goan cuisine and otherwise cannot be denied. Thank you for watching. Have a great day ahead.